This happened in one of my first tabletop groups. We were playing Vampire the Masquerade, and our group was investigating something in Little Italy, New York. And before I start there, I should explain something for people who doesn't play Vampire. Most roleplay systems have some kind of race and or class system. You know, elves, dwarves, and so on. But since you play vampires, well, vampires. There are different kind of vampires, called clans. Our group had a Nosferatu, a Toreador, and a Malkavian. Nozis are most of the time information brokers, spies you could say. Tories are the artists, and Malkavians are simply mad. But that are only the stereotypes anyway. Our Nozi was a fighter. The art of our Tory was that she was a lead singer in a new metal band, and my Malkavian was mad, yes, but not that mad. You see, most people play Malkavians as lunatics who belong in the nearest asylum. But the rules only say they have a derangement. You know what a derangement is, for example? Crippling depression. Or, in the case of my character, borderline. Yep, it was a weird group. But back to the beginning of this part of the story. Like I said, we were investigating something in Little Italy. For that, we needed to sneak in a building where we hoped to find informations. The plan was simple. The Nossi and my Malk can obfuscate, be invisible, and we go into the building, search for clues, and the Tory stands outside and gives us a warning if somebody is coming. But in order to obfuscate, we needed to not be seen in the first place. So we did go in an alley around the corner. And there it was, a cat. A black cat with smaragd green eyes. The Tory was like, "Aww," and petted the cat. Which alerted the Nossi and me, since animals normally do not like vampires. But this cat seems to enjoy the head pets from Madame Tory. So we were skeptic, but continued our plan. While the Tory was busy with the cat, our Nossi goes in the alley. I waited a few seconds and followed the no obfuscated Nossi in the alley in order to obfuscate myself. When I came out of the alley, the game master spoke. "You know," he said, "how cats sometimes seem to watch something intensively, even if there is nothing? The cat is doing this, right now, in your direction, like it's watching you." Since the session was going on for a few months, I knew that this was just a joke. We were skeptic of the cat, so the cat does something that is completely normal for a cat to do, but can be seen as out of the usual. Our GM was doing this kind of stuff all the time, and we actually liked it. It intensified the atmosphere of danger and paranoia, which should be normal in a round of Vampire the Masquerade. But this was out of character. In character, I was even more skeptical of the cat and used Auspex in order to see what it is. For the people who didn't know about the VOD, vampires can see the aura of things with Auspex. It is helpful to know if you have a human, vampire, werewolf or whatever in front of you and how they feel. It is one of the most useful disciplines you can have. So I threw my dice and botched. So I did not just fail to see an aura, I saw an aura, but not the one which was there. I was able to hear the Game Master's grin while he explained that my character has never seen something like this. There are rainbows in the mostly red aura, and sparkles. And even if my character has never seen anything like this, everything in her said enemy. What the GM was describing was an angry, magic-using fairy. So I had to decide what to do. Out of character I knew that I just botched my throw, and this isn't false alarm. But hey, that's meta knowledge. My character must react in a fitting way. I did so 2 options. Go out of obfuscate, tell the others and ask the Tory if he could look at the cat with Auspex too. Or the more extreme way, which I only thought about because I was playing a Malkavian. So I did a natural thing for a good roleplayer and threw the dice. Even number option 1, uneven option 2. It was an uneven number, obviously. So I pulled out my knife while still obfuscated, sneaked to the cat and... well, you can imagine what my character did do to the poor cat, which biggest crime it was to be too tame and accidentally looking at the wrong part of a wall. And since it was an interaction with the environment, I became visible as soon as my knife touched the poor cat. Oh no, she just facepalmed, but not our Tory. You know, she really liked this cat. At first she used presents on me, so my character really liked her. Then she said to me how horrible I was for doing this to the poor cat, and after I tried to explain myself, she began to hit me in the face. And since I was under the influence of presents, I didn't do anything to protect me. The problem was, my character had a lot of stamina, while Madame Tori was a social character. In short, I didn't get hurt, no matter how hard she hit me, which angered her even more. So much, she frenzied and our Nossi had to stake her. After she calmed down, I was ordered by her to bury the cat. And since I was still under the influence of her presence, I did so, in the middle of New York, a few days before Christmas. Luckily for me, we were in Little Italy and there were paving stones. But I broke my knife while lever switching the paving stones and digging in the frozen ground. But yeah, this was the story of the cat in the alley. Oh, and obviously, we didn't find any useful information in this building.